Hello and welcome to the Warhammer News Roundup with Why I Love Warhammer. And it is the 26th of February 2024, and let's go through the Warhammer community articles from the last week. Firstly, this was one I was extremely happy to see. This is the Kroot Calamandra, and the rider thereof. I think this is glorious. It's undeniably lizard-like, brilliantly dinosaur-like, but also wonderfully alien. These tendrily bits, the structure here, this the actual limb structure makes me feel like this should be bipedal, but then up the feet very much a quadrupedal thing, and I think it just screams alien. I try and apply some semblance of Earth-like physiology to it. It doesn't really add up. Therefore, alien, and wonderfully so. I've got to say, I would love to see a three. I'd like to see more of the tail because we've seen the silhouette here, but there is a tail here. But I kind of want to see, is it looped round? Has it just been cut out of the image for convenience? I think this spear thing is awesome. I love this kind of mounted hunter nature it's got going on. And again, yeah, the long gun. Like, that's cool to me. What is this? It is a gun. What type of gun? It's long. It's a bit interesting that it's still AP2. I remember near the start of 10th edition they were talking about making AP less of a thing so that your invulnerable save and your regular save meant more. But a lot of guns have AP, including this long gun. But like I say, rules change over the editions. The coolness of a model that's always present, and the Calamandra is awesome. I enjoy that they're showing off the different color schemes as well. It speaks to the nature of the Kroot as being this race that evolves very quickly based on what they eat, but it's also just nice to see them say there are various correct ways to paint these models up. And yeah, in spite of a certain advice I've given in the past, paint your models how you like, and the Kroot have really shown that. They show that really well. Okay, Secrets of the New Dark Angels. I've been loving these new Dark Angel sculpts. I think that these sword wielders, they're Arthurian knights in terms of culture and origin, but they have these awesome looking swords. And even though certain people I do respect a lot in this community don't like cloaks, I love them. As someone who got fully converted to contrast paints, cloaks are one of the places that the contrast really shines, and I just think they're gorgeous, and I love the red in them. And same here. They've got that classic off-white, but with the red, and I love the smoke. I love this lamp thing, and the swords are really awesome, covered in purity seals, and they've got the classic guns. I just think these guys are awesome. I think that I do low key miss the days where your build was two halves of a torso. Now glue your arms on. This looks closer to that, but it's not. A bit more customization might be nice, but either way, this is glorious, and this is a cool banner. It's got the little watcher guy on top on top of the banner. I think that's awesome. For wings, just glorious. And and now this Asmodai figure, I that looks like, and correct me if I'm wrong, comment section please. But to me, this looks like it's like the head of a forum, the helmet, and he's just put his sword through it. That's glorious. And yeah, I mean, personally, I should probably go for this hood helmet look rather than just full on helmet for me personally. It's a cool looking helmet, but I'm a sucker for this hood. I love the Dark Angels hoods. Yeah, and then this one here, this Belial, I think it's got his tactical rock, but it looks a bit different to a lot of tactical rocks. Again, I'd go hood rather than bare face. But the sword's looking awesome. This gun is beautiful. The red and the gold filigree. He's got this shoulder pad pauldron thing. It's just such a glorious looking model. Just really resplendent. Like, I know that when Games Workshop talk about centerpiece models, they're talking about the big chunky model that goes in the very middle, like your Lionel Johnsons, your Silent Kings, your Abaddon the Despoilers. But this is a centerpiece model to me. This is the one that you spend a week painting up, and and when you're getting your models out of your carry case, you take it out last so that it's got the maximum wow factor. Huge fan of this model. I love this new sculpt. Warhammer Anniversary models at Warhammer World. I'd love to get down to Warhammer World more often. It's just not something I'm able to do. Loving this goose. I like Warhammer birds. I think they know that people like the birds. Bugman's Bar is a really lovely place to go. Like, I've been to Warhammer World a grand total of twice. The first time, so when I was in the hobby, the first time I was like 13, 14 years old. Second time, I got to have a drink at Bugman's Bar, and it was just lovely. And yeah, they have these really beautiful dioramas. Got a picture of me somewhere stood outside this rhino. But yeah, I'll look forward to seeing these reveals, to see the anniversary minis. Launch of the Chaos Gate game, Demon Hunters. It looks cool enough. Again, I'm not going to watch the trailers here, but yeah, it looks like a fun enough game. I don't know if I'll be able to play it, mostly because I also know that my PC barely runs Dark-Tired. I know my video is not the highest quality out there. I'm trying to work on it, but I just don't think I'll have the specs to play this game. It looks fun though. If you've played this, how is it? Do you enjoy it? Okay, another video game, Power Wash Simulator. I genuinely know nothing about Power Wash Simulator. Based on the name, it sounds vaguely like Viscera Cleanup Detail to me. But yeah, looks fun enough, and it's just another fun little take on the 40k setting. And yeah, laid back cleaning session. Why not? 40k is a setting, not a genre, right? Bring on the cleaning sim. Give me a 40k cozy game. Like, yeah, if we've got a cleaning game set in 40k, how awesome would a Stardew Valley be in 40k set on an agri world? Like that kind of thing. It's lovely to see Games Workshop branching out and having other genres of game. So yeah, more power to them for this. I hope this does really well. Another rumor engine. Again, I'll take the mic because you just don't see enough of anything in a rumor engine. So let's say this is an Eldar Corsair. So no, there's an Eldar Exodite staff from their standard troop unit. Why not? In all seriousness, this does give me some vague vibes of that Hunts of the Jade Obelisk they did for Warcry. Just in terms of the aesthetic, but again, you can never tell with these rumor engines. Some stuff for Necromunda. When they revealed these, the Karga 8 Ridge Hauler, it made me hopeful for the old squat land train. Still waiting on that, but it's a cool enough model in its own right. I think it's wrong to compare what it is to what I was hoping for. That's not right. You take the model as it is, and as it is, it's cool. Actually, for any new viewers, I didn't plan this, but I will always I'm longing and yearning for the squat land train, which is the thing that the now Leagues of Votann had, that literally looks like train as a tank, and I'm longing to have that back in the game. And so whenever someone says squat land train or land train, that's what they're referring to. But once you're able to divorce what you want it to be from what it is brilliant. So yay, we've got some updated rules. Okay, Dark Angel and Crusade, a couple of narrative lists. Again, it's nice seeing these lists to show what the staff have. I feel like when the staff do it, it adds a bit of an air of legitimacy to it. That said, Just from someone who I don't think I'm ever going to be much more than a casual hobbyist, right? This is so this list has box of Deathwing Knights, two boxes of Terminators, Inner Circle Companions. That sounds like one box. That's one, maybe two boxes. Two boxes, one box. This list feels quite realistic. There's no more than one or two boxes worth of any given kit. This one, however, has one, two, three, four, five boxes of Outriders, and I just don't see your average Joe hobbyist buying five of the same box. Like if it's like a bog standard troop unit, sure, but that's not what this is. This is vehicles, so I don't know how, and they're not trans. I don't think they're transports. So, I don't really see this being the most realistic list to for an average hobbyist. I think this is far more what I imagine your average hobbyist actually taking. Some Black Library novels for the Dark Angels. Again, my boy Cypher. Again, it's interesting, and yeah, I mean, it's clearly working for Games Workshop, but it's not what I'd personally do. Where Saturday that just passed after the Saturday from just before I recorded this video was a big Dark Angels launch. So they spend that week just going on and on and on about the Dark Angels. I personally feel like they could do with staggered releases a bit more, but it means that Dark Angels fans do get this huge week of hype that they get to really enjoy, and then they get to just sit back and enjoy their hobby for the rest of the edition. So yeah, good for the Dark Angels fans. They've got this really awesome week of hype going on. Long may it continue, Dark Angels fans. God knows you deserve it. This got me very hyped. I'm a huge fan of Knights, Chaos Knights specifically. I'm aware my Chaos Knights are probably going to be the antagonists of this series. This was one of the series that was advertised when they launched Warhammer Plus. It was, oh, and we're going to have all of these animations. It's going to have Astartes 2, which we still don't have. Angels of Death, which we've got 2 seasons of. Hammer and Bolter, which is brilliant, and we have seasons of as and when. We'll have Iron Within, which was one episode. Pariah Nexus, which I thought was going to be there for 9th edition. We got it kind of partway through 10th. Broken Lance was one of those. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a beautiful looking animation. And I'm hoping it's going to be a full series. It says when the new series is released. So hopefully it goes on for more than one episode. It's stunning. And it, showing knights in full context. And yeah, this painting Nighthorn, that was cool. And some stuff about the Krieg. If you tune into my video on Friday, it's about the Siege of Vrax, part of my super short lore, and where the Krieg really got to shine. And they're really cool anyway. I love the gas masks. Imperial Guard, but you don't have to paint faces. Glorious. Okay, I'm aware there's more to the Imperial Guard. I'm aware there's more to the Krieg than just Guard, but wearing gas masks. And there is everything about the Krieg that makes them awesome. But I can't deny that they are also Imperial Guard, where you don't have to paint anyone's faces. Some Dark Angels Fallen. I just think these are glorious. Heresy era colour scheme. And they do the thing where, because it's a relatively monochrome colour scheme, to make it pop and make it look really good, it takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, and they really knock it out the park with this. I think this is beautiful and glorious. The hints of the colours in the cloaks, and the way this gun is being done. It's a really simple colour scheme in terms of the broad brush stroke colour strokes, but they really make that simple colour scheme work very well. Also, just a quick thing for other hobbyists out there, right? Just take a look at this, right? These are undeniably good paint jobs. They are clearly good enough to go on the Warhammer community website, but notice this. The face is not painted to look like skin. There's nothing here painting in the eye sockets. The bases are still covered in the wash. There are so many things that I think we as hobbyists really try and do in excess to make our models perfect. But perfect is the enemy of done. And having a lovely model like this is perfectly tabletop standard. It's not going to break no one's immersion that you've not put tufts of grass on the base, right? These are gloriously painted models, and they've not done loads of work on the bases. They're not trying to get glowing eyes. You don't have to do things. Not every model you paint has to be a golden demon winner. Just paint them till they're done, right? Relax, enjoy painting. Don't stress about it. Cool conversion here for So this looks like a really nice cipher conversion. Is it a cipher? Yeah, convert to cipher. It looks cool, and I'm a huge fan of the cipher model, both old and new. It's nice to have a good conversion. I like the sword in the back. Okay, new meta watch. I don't actually watch the videos. I wait for the balance data slate to come out and the commentary around it. But hopefully they don't nerf my factions too much. Even though, Eldari and Chaos Space Marines are trending down towards their desired win rates. Hopefully they're still good, because I am not, and I have a win rate of 1%. Just because the Eldari have a win rate of, say, 56 or whatever doesn't mean that reflects on me. So I want them to still be good. They do keep nerfing strands of fate dice, but still feels in keeping with kind of flavour and lore right now. Hopefully the nerfs are enough but not too harsh, just for my own sanity. Solar Auxilia backups. I do think the tanks are really awesome. I think what would be good for them to do, because Horus Heresy, right? There are so many big tanks, so many heavy support slots, so many Lords of War, is to have more force organization charts, because we're clearly not getting many troop units in in Horus Heresy plastic, but those are the core. They still use the by design they use the 7th edition force organization chart to have a minimum of 1 HQ and 2 troops, and then you build that up to 6 troops, up to 2 HQs, up to 3 elites, up to 3 fast attack, up to 3 heavy support, Lord of War no more than 25% of your force. I feel like there's a balance to be struck between having this many awesome heavy supports and Lords of War versus having lists that you can still build using their models. And if they don't want to give us more troop units, give us more force organization charts. Okay, that's someone who wants to play Horus Heresy, has Horus Heresy armies, but hasn't really played much Horus Heresy. If you are a Horus Heresy player, please be nice about it, but please tell me if and how I'm wrong in the comments for why having more force organization charts either is or isn't a bad idea. Or if you think that having more troops in plastic is a good or bad idea, please let me know. Because I think those are two relatively simple solutions, but I also wouldn't want them to implement a solution that would betray the spirit of still being roughly 7th edition. Dark Angels Combat Patrol. Yeah, it looks cool. Combat Patrol, roughly 500 points-ish, but they changed the data sheets to make Combat Patrol an approximately balanced game. Fair enough. It's a decent looking box. I kind of go back and forth as to whether or not I like the fact they haven't put vehicles in, because I love vehicles, but I'm also aware that changes the balance of the box itself. The only worry I'd have with a box like this is if you're not so up on what your Space Marine units are, you could get confused. So looks like we've got 2, 4, 6. We've got 10 of what looks like standard intercessors. 5 of these guys with the plasma guns or plasma rifle, no, plasma weapons. This leader-looking dude, I think he's captain, and then these, I think they're Stern Guard, but again, someone who's primarily a Necron player, it can be a bit weird to try and distinguish. So yeah, I think gotta make them look really nice and unique. But yeah, it's a cool looking combat patrol nonetheless. Stuff for Total War Warhammer 3. So, fun fact, over the weekend I was talking to a cousin of mine who knows nothing about Warhammer, but does know Total War. So the more support they can give Total War Warhammer, the more people who know Total War but don't know Warhammer can be introduced into the setting and the hobby. And the more people who can be introduced to the hobby, in my view, the better. Let's have as many people in this hobby as possible, right? That's why I'm always a fan of like, lowering the barrier to entry. Why I like different genres, get more people invested in the world, because the world's one of the best parts about this hobby. And so yeah, get people into the world, and yeah, so yay that Total War Warhammer 3 is getting more stuff. Army of Unforgiven, just glorious. A huge fan of the Unforgiven as a concept, but Fallen, Unforgiven, the Loyalists, and the Risen. I love how Dark Angel's lore has kind of evolved in at the end of last edition and started this edition. I think this is a beautiful looking force. If I thought to do it in advance, I'd try and tally up exactly how many points this is, because this looks like a pretty big army. Like, I would be intimidated if my opponent was putting this down. If I was at a tournament at this size, I mean, I'd be running maybe 8 Chaos Knights, all 6 of my war dogs, and a few larger guys. Against this, I'd be very intimidated. So yeah, it's a cool looking thing. Again, they've got this huge roster of colours for tiny amounts of detail. Good on them for being able to do it. I know I don't have that patience. Hey, this is 4 colours for the eyes. That's madness to me. And that nowhere else uses what yeah. So the 4 colours they use on the eye on the eye bits here, the lenses, they're not. None of those colours are used anywhere else on the model. So as much as I think this is really cool, it's not a colour scheme I think I'd ever be able to do myself, because that's just so many paints. Another Dawnbringer Chronicles, cool enough. Yeah, so I'm not going to try and read this all out on a video like this. Comparing leaders for your army, to be honest, if you're getting into Dark Angels, go for the one you think looks coolest, right? If you think you want to go Dark Angels specifically, rules always change. We've got maybe 2-3 years of any given rule set, so just go for the one you think looks the coolest, or get all of these guys, which at current rules, Lionel Johnson would have to be your general, your leader, and then bulk it out with as much as you need to make it game legal. Just go with what looks coolest. If you think you want Dark Angels, go for the coolest looking one, because let's say for the sake of argument, Ezekiel, Grand Master of the Librarians, is terrible this edition. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. I'm just putting that one out of thin air, right? Let's say for the sake of argument, this guy is the worst possible Dark Angels character you could choose right now. Then maybe after the next Balanced Data Slate or the next edition, he becomes the greatest. Don't play for the meta. Unless you're specifically only tournament playing, you're not attached to the faction, then don't chase the meta. Just get the one you think looks coolest, right? And if it becomes good later on, fantastic. But yeah, go for what you think looks cool. That's the real answer to this question. And to be honest, this article is good for that because it's talking about things in terms of lore. It's not saying this guy's got a 5-up save and this guy's got a 4-up save. It's saying, knows that redacted and he redacted after redacted. Greatest field commanders, uncompromising, Deathwing assault, born in the saddle, right? It's lore stuff. It's, who's the coolest from the lore. So, yeah, this article is really good in that sense. If you like Dark Angels, go for whichever one you think is the coolest as your leader. Saturday pre-orders, all of the Dark Angels! Again, I feel like these haven't put a foot wrong, these Dark Angel sculpts. There's stuff that maybe I'd prefer they did differently, but that's not to say they did it wrong. And these guys have not put a foot wrong. The Dark Angels dice. If you guys bought dice in previous editions and are only just buying the newer dice, there aren't as many as there were in the last edition's dice sets. 16. It used to be 20, but they're still good looking dice. Data cards. Again, if you've never bought these are twice the size you expect. I thought they'd be about the size of Magic the Gathering cards. No, they are twice the size of Magic the Gathering cards. They're somewhat controversial, but I still like console model. Black Library stuff for the Dark Angels. Some End Times stuff. And yeah, print on demand, Caiaphas Cain. Rock on Caiaphas Cain. And then Sunday preview. Solar Auxilia stuff for Horus Heresy. Solar Auxilia dice, including the scatter dice. Stormseer console, because White Scars are great. They don't get enough love as far as I'm concerned. Dark Emissary console. Some more Horus Heresy stuff. The Old World releasing standalone kits of the models from the launch boxes. Proper classic skeletons. And then this beautiful Scorpion, these terrifying birds, Bretonia models. And the Green Knight is finally up for order. And so as soon as I've got the money for it, I'm getting myself the Green Knight. Just straight up get Green Knight. And the next issue of White Dwarf, which will be my second White Dwarf from my subscription, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Black Library stuff, classic prints. So when I was first getting into the hobby, that was the codex for Necrons, and that was the codex for Tau. No one in our group played Dark Angels. Codex Demon Hunters hadn't been launched just yet. And then the old classic Warhammer, then fantasy covers. 2 videos on Warhammer Plus. We never got the Mandrix video from a few weeks ago, but some Diseased Metal and a battle report. They sound like they're going to be fun. I do love Citadel Painting Masterclass. Anyway, that was all the Warhammer community news from this week just gone. With, what are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to give me a like and subscribe, I would very much appreciate that. Channel memberships are open. Patreon's in the description. And with that, I will see you next time, and I hope you're all having a really good day.